Hey guys, what's going on? How you guys doing? This is JR from the South Texas Edison. I'm coming to you with another deck profile that was requested. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This is the Cyber Machina deck that I put together, just to see how it works, out of curiosity, see what it would do. Because that's what I like to do. I like to build unique and creative decks. See what we can come up with. So we'll go ahead and start with the monsters here. And I started off with three Mecha Bunnies. Very interesting card here. This is when this card is flipped face up, you can select a card on the field and inflict 500 damage to its controller. And that's the first part. And the second part is when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon another Mecha Bunny from your deck in face down defense position. So this allows the deck to get thinned out a little bit faster, and plus you do damage to your opponent by inflicting 500 every time it gets flipped up. So you select you target one of their cards on the field. It could be a back row, it could be a field spell, it could be a monster. But don't select a card that has an effect that, like a monster effect that says when you select this card and it will just negate it. So just select a different one, target a different one. Three of those. We have three Cyber Dragons. Is an Edison. It's at 2, but Proto Cyber Dragon is treated as Cyber Dragon while face up on the field. So you get 3 of these, and you'll see why later. 2 Blast Spheres. A very interesting card. I like. It says if an opponent's monster attacks this face down a position card, this card becomes an equipped card to the attacker's monster. Now, before damage calculation, that's before damage calculation. So what happens is your opponent attacks it, it gets flipped, the effect activates, it gets equipped to the monster, but it stays equipped on your side, but it's equipped to the monster that attacked it before damage calculation even applied. So then the next part says destroy the equipped monster during your opponent's next standby phase and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's attack. So if your monster's the monster that attacked is a very high level, high attack monster, like let's say it's a Caius that attacks it, or maybe a 3000 monster. It attacks it, it gets flipped, effect activates, equipped to your side. Their turn ends, you draw, do whatever you want to do. Just try to save this card, make sure not to destroy that monster, because once that monster gets destroyed by attack or smashing ground or anything like that, then this goes with it. You won't be able to get its effect. So once you draw your card and do whatever you need to do, protect this card, make sure that card stays, your opponent's card stays, that's equipped to Blast Sphere. Pass your turn after you've done whatever you needed to do. They draw, and in their standby phase, Blast Sphere activates, destroys the card, and they take damage. Very cool. Just inflicting damage with the Mecha Bunny and Blast Sphere. Reflect Bounder. It's a machine, and it's a very interesting effect. I like it. Before damage calculation, if this card is being attacked by an opponent's monster and was in attack position at the start of the damage step, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attacking monster's attack. If you do, after damage calculation, destroy this card. So this card at the end is being destroyed by its own effect, not by battle. So what happens, let's say it's a 19 attack monster that's attacking it, so they attack it. Reflect Bounder will activate. They take the 19 first, then you take the damage, which would be 19 from 70. You take 200, and then Reflect Bounder's second effect will activate at the end, and it gets destroyed by its own effect, not by battle damage. Very important to know. It's not by battle; it's by effect that it gets destroyed by. 2 Cyber Phoenixes. I'm debating whether or not to keep this in the deck. If I do keep it in, I'll just leave it. But if I do want to replace them, I'll probably want to replace it with 2 of the cards I'll bring up next. But yeah, so this card says, while this card is in attack position, you can negate any spell and trap effects that target one machine monster you control, and then no other cards. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. So it's got some protection against target cards that target, spell and trap cards that target. And also it has a good draw effect for you to help, get to your draws, get to your thin out the deck. But I don't know, I'm debating whether or not to keep it in. 2 Machina gear frames. Now, I'll probably substitute or take out one of the Cyber Phoenixes and put another gear frame in here. Machina gear frame. It's a very good card. You know, you summon it, you get the effect to add a Machina monster to your hand from the deck. It also has another effect that where you get to equip it to target one machine monster you control and equip it to that target, or unequipped it to special summon it. A very good card for protection if you want to protect your monsters, or just again, more draw power, thin out the deck with Machina Fortress. The other card that I want to replace Cyber Phoenix with is probably a Machina Force. I believe that card will help the deck out a little bit better. I'm just debating whether or not, but yeah, 2 Machina Fortresses, 2 Machina Gear Frames. And there's a trump card here, Jinzo. It is a machine. Plus, you also get to use its effect. It says trap cards and their effects on the field cannot be activated. Negate all trap effects on the field. So as your bunnies will come out on the field, you know, one by one, and if it survives to the next turn, you have Jinzo in hand, and if it's time for you to play Jinzo to stop those traps, stop that back row, because Edison is a trap heavy format, well, Jinzo will be there, and he's also a machine. I'll show you right now why it's important that these are all machines. Going to the spells now. 2 Smashing Grounds, 1 Giant Trunade, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, and 3 Solidarities. 3 Solidarities because this is a Solidarity deck. They're all machines. So this will definitely boost up even the smaller machines that you have. Now we go to the traps. 2 DNA surgeries. I'm debating whether or not to add a third. I think a third might actually help it out a little bit better. DNA surgeries will help to put or to make every monster type on the field a certain type, and you want them to all be machines because of Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon will allow you to contact fuse for Chimera Tech Fortress. So this helped a lot when I was going against frogs, and you know how frogs like to have a wall of amphibians there. You activate this, make them all machines, bring out a Cyber Dragon, and contact fuse the entire field to bring out a big old mega Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. You know, just 7,000, 6,000, and then with Solidarity, like more if you can stack them. You know, so it's just like one turn kill if you can. So DNA surgery. And then we have a Bottomless Trapos, because it's that too. 3 Jar of Greeds for more draw power. 2 Dimensional Prisons. 2 Dust Tornadoes for that back row hate. A Dark Bribe, because you never know when you want to protect your back row. Solemn Judgment as well. A Mirror Force, Torrential, and a Starlight Road for more back row protection. You want to be able to protect your DNAs and your Solidarities. But yeah, so let's go into the extra deck. I only have 3 on the extra deck because this deck doesn't really synchro that much. But if you wanted to add your synchro staples, go ahead and add them. But the main monsters for the extra deck are your Chimera Tech Fortress Dragons, and you must run all 3. You must run all 3 because you never know when you might need that third. A buddy of mine was testing out the deck that I had made this deck for, and he he didn't have his third Chimera Tech, and he really needed it, and he ended up losing that bout because he didn't have his third. So yes, for sure have the 3 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragons in your extra deck, and then if you want to add the other synchro staples, go ahead just to have them there. But yeah, that's it for the Cyber Machina. If you want to go ahead and test it out, please do. Let me know what you think. Give us some feedback. If you want to alter it, sure, alter it. That's fine. Let me know how that goes. And yeah, but it's a Solidarity machine deck, and yeah, so far it's been doing very interestingly well. We'll see you guys.